It's Greg Troutwine with Marine Technology TV. We're here at the Oceanology International in San Diego, and we're here with Rustom Jehangir, the founder of Blue Robotics. And Rusty, first and foremost, thanks for having us. Or thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us here, Greg.
Okay. Rusty, again, we've written about you. In fact, I don't know how old your company was when you made the MTR 100 for the first time. So you're a relatively new name on the subsea front. So why don't you just explain exactly what your company does?
Yeah, well, that was the MTR 100 was a big moment for us because we were just about 6 months, a year old at the time, I think. Mm-hmm. So it's exciting to be recognized in that way. We started in mid-2014 around the idea of building an affordable thruster motor because we found through kind of tinkering and doing our own projects that we couldn't find anything that was less than $1,000 really, and we found a lot of people looking for that, and so we built a thruster. We came up with a pretty innovative design that allowed us to bring the cost way down, and since then we've felt that a lot of components in the marine industry are expensive and they could be made cheaper. There's a lot of technology we can leverage in the drone community, the aerial drone community. Mm-hmm. We do a lot of that with our motors and our autopilot on the ROV. Mm-hmm. And there's so much technology that can be leveraged to really push the envelope with this technology and make it, which is our goal, is to make it more accessible to a much broader audience. Okay. Get universities involved in doing more complicated projects, have more companies able to prototype their products rapidly, and kind of redefine the industry and the products that are part of it.
So, Rusty, as far as a new technology which allowed you to bring the cost down, can you be a little more specific, or what exactly was the main design or engineering challenge that you faced in launching the new product to the market?
Well, our newest product, about 6 months ago, is the Blue ROV 2, which is an ROV that has 6 thrusters, and the design and performance of it is similar to what you'd normally expect on something that costs literally 20 times more. Okay. And the only way for us to actually achieve that was to tackle every single component and design it from the ground up. Okay. So we built the thrusters, the enclosures, the lights, the electronics, the tether, literally every component on there. Mm-hmm. With a few exceptions that are borrowed from the drone community, are brand new products, and we design them for low cost, for selling to a relatively large volume of people, and it's worked out well for us. Okay.
So to date, how many units do you have out on the field, or what kind of success have you enjoyed with the product?
Well, it's been on the market for about 7 or 8 months, and we've got about 250 of them in the field now.
And if you could generally classify who your user is, who your client is, who would that be?
Well, I get that question a lot, and it's really hard to answer because we have an incredibly broad audience. In fact, back in our Kickstarter campaign, back in 2014, we sold the exact same thruster to middle school students doing robotics competitions, and to researchers at Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution using it on their research projects. And so, everything in between those two extremes is fair game, and that's continued to be the case with our product line as it's expanding.
I believe you said you also had a new ping sonar that was available. Could you give us a little insight on the development of that, and specifically what it does and why it was developed?
Sure. So we've been taking a look at the whole market, and one of the areas that we feel has the most potential for price improvement is the sonar market. And so we've started with a pretty simple product. It's called the Ping Single Beam Echo Sounder. It's a simple sonar. 115 kilohertz frequency, 30-meter range, 25-degree beam angle, and it's perfect really for ROVs, for obstacle avoidance, for AUVs, avoiding the bottom and for avoiding obstacles, and for doing bathymetric survey work on a surface vessel. We did some testing this last weekend, and just put I've got an engineer sitting at the booth putting the data together, and pulled up a pipeline or something that we went over, and it shows up great on there, and it's cool to be able to find that stuff. Cool. And the Ping is only $200, so it's another area where we've been able to bring an order of magnitude price improvement over what's out there.
I mean, it's an interesting situation because, again, you started out as a thruster manufacturer, correct? Now you have an ROV, you're making ping sonars. I understand you're making everything for your own vehicles. Will you intend to sell individual components to the market as well?
Yeah, that's actually always been our business model, is to sell the components. And our ROV is we're not trying to take business from other people. We're trying to create a baseline design that works well, has all these components, and we hope that other people will use that design, use the software, and put together ROVs that work for their applications, reuse the components in different ways that we aren't planning to do. And I think that's going well. We've been trying to foster that within our community of customers, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of that in the future.
Thanks very much. I truly appreciate your time. Thank you. This is Greg Troutwine with Marine Technology TV.